Passing is one of the most basic skills in basketball, yet some NBA stars made it look unbelievably difficult. While legends like Magic Johnson and Chris Paul could thread a pass through the tightest defenses, others struggled just to get the ball to a teammate. Shaquille O'Neal's sheer power often turned simple passes into chaotic turnovers. Dwight Howard, despite his dominance, never had the right touch for clean assists. And then there's JaVale McGee, whose passing blunders became comedy gold. Whether it was fumbled passes, misreads, or just plain bad decision-making, these players had everything except the ability to make a simple pass. Stick around as we break down the NBA stars who turned one of basketball's easiest skills into their biggest weakness, and don't forget to subscribe. Jason Williams. Jason Williams was drafted by the Sacramento Kings as the 7th overall pick in 1998, and he quickly became one of the most exciting players in the NBA.
With the 7th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jason Williams from the University of Florida.
His playing style was unconventional, creative, and astonishing, earning him the nickname White Chocolate. Instead of playing it safe, he preferred to take risks, dazzling fans with no-look passes, behind-the-back assists, and spectacular crossovers. His greatest strength was his extraordinary passing ability, delivering the ball into spaces where no one else would even think to look. In 2000, his incredible no-look pass to Chris Webber became a signature moment of his career. However, his high-risk style of play not only thrilled audiences, but also put him in difficult situations. Over time, his physically demanding playing style became a burden. Severe injuries not only slowed him down, but also affected his fundamental skills. A time came when the very player known for his unbelievable passing found himself struggling to make even a simple pass correctly. His movements on the court became restricted, and despite opportunities, he could no longer perform the magic that once made him legendary. As his career progressed, his physical limitations became more evident, and injuries took a toll on his game. Eventually, due to injuries and declining performance, he had to bid farewell to the NBA. However, his unconventional skills and unique style left an everlasting mark in basketball history. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is an NBA legend, 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and one of the most unstoppable forces the game has ever seen. When he was in the paint, there was almost nothing defenders could do to stop him. He bulldozed his way through opponents, shattered backboards, and dunked with such force that teams often had to double or even triple team him just to slow him down. But when it came to passing, well, that was an entirely different story. Shaq's sheer power made him a nightmare for defenders, but that same strength made his passing, let's just say, unpredictable. His massive hands, which were perfect for gripping the ball and throwing down thunderous dunks, made it tough for him to deliver delicate or precise passes. Many times he would put too much force behind the ball, launching passes into the stands or directly into an opponent's hands. His court vision wasn't exactly elite either, leading to awkward, mistimed passes that left his teammates scrambling. And we can't talk about Shaq's passing struggles without mentioning his free throws. In fact, he missed so many of them that some of his teammates started treating his free throws like passes off the backboard, positioning themselves to grab the rebound as if it were a planned assist. Shaq may have been one of the most dominant players in NBA history, but when it came to passing, he was as clumsy as they come. Dwight Howard. At his peak, Dwight Howard was an absolute force in the NBA. A 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, an 8-time All-Star, and the driving force behind the Orlando Magic's run to the 2009 NBA Finals. His athleticism was unreal. He could leap out of the gym, block shots into the third row, and throw down monster dunks that shook the entire basket. But if you asked him to pass the ball effectively, that's when things got ugly. Much like Shaq, Dwight relied on his sheer physical gifts to dominate games. But when it came to finesse plays, especially passing, his skill set fell apart. His hands, while big and strong, were stiff and lacked the soft touch needed for crisp passes. This often led to him mishandling the ball or throwing passes that were completely off target, whether it was a mistimed lob that sailed out of bounds, a bounce pass that barely made it halfway to his teammate, or a simple chest pass that somehow ended up in the hands of an opponent. Dwight's passing was a comedy of errors. It wasn't just the mechanics. His decision-making with the ball wasn't great either. He often hesitated, second-guessed himself, or simply lost control while trying to set up a teammate. Opponents knew that forcing Dwight to make a pass was one of the easiest ways to create a turnover. For all his dominance around the rim, when it came to passing, he might as well have been wearing oven mitts. JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee is known for 2 things. freakish athleticism, and an endless supply of Shaqtin' moments.
For being with us.
JaVale McGee, my main man, what's up, baby?
I don't watch Shaq McCoon.
And if there's one area of his game that contributed heavily to those blooper reels, it was his passing, or more accurately, his overconfidence in his passing abilities. McGee's problem wasn't that he couldn't pass, it was that he truly believed he could execute plays that were way beyond his skill level. Time and time again, he attempted highlight reel passes that ended in disaster. Whether it was a behind-the-back pass that sailed into the crowd, a full-court heave that landed right in an opponent's hands, or an alley-oop attempt that had zero chance of succeeding, JaVale always kept fans entertained, just not in the way his coaches hoped. The funniest part? Sometimes, his mind seemed to work faster than his hands. He would see an open teammate, try to make a simple dish, and somehow turn it into a complete mess. The ball would either slip out of his hands, bounce awkwardly off a defender, or fly into the third row as his teammates stood in disbelief. McGee's passing adventures were a mix of ambition, confusion, and pure comedy, making him a legend in his own chaotic way. Hasheem Thabeet. If you thought the previous players had passing issues, just wait until you hear about Hasheem Thabeet. Drafted second overall in 2009, Thabeet was supposed to be a dominant defensive anchor, a shot-blocking machine who could change the game with his presence in the paint. Instead, he became one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history. And one major reason for his downfall? He struggled to execute even the most basic aspects of the game, including passing. Thabeet's passing woes weren't just bad, they were outright painful to watch. Even in simple half-court sets, he often looked completely lost with the ball in his hands. His lack of court awareness made it nearly impossible for him to make proper reads, and when he did attempt to pass, it usually ended in disaster. Whether it was throwing the ball straight to a defender, fumbling a routine handoff, or hesitating so much that he got swarmed and lost possession, Thabeet made even the easiest passes seem like a daunting challenge. He was the type of player who could have a wide-open teammate standing right in front of him and still find a way to turn the ball over. His size and defensive potential may have earned him a high draft pick, but when it came to passing, he looked like he had never played basketball before. Our video is ending now, but what do you think who had the worst passing ability in NBA history? Were there any players we missed? Let us know in the comments below. We're eager to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed our exploration of these legendary passing struggles, please give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content. Thanks for watching.